Hello, my friends. We have some more information on more things they're going to be doing in PvP and in war zones. So let's talk about it. Pew, 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 pew. Hello, my SWTOR brothers and sisters out there. How's everyone doing? Boomy here again with another video for you. Well, we have some more news down the pipeline with some PvP changes, pretty much like a part 2, and some stuff for the Galactic Starfighter as well, and matchmaking. This pretty much came out today, so let's talk about it, shall we? Now we're going to get into little things, so let's go over it. So far, from what I've seen and read, I'm a big fan. I think these are all good changes, and I'm glad they're actually showing some good old-fashioned bearded love. Yes. To the PvPers in our lives. That's right. So, right now, let's talk about matchmaking, shall we? Matchmaking in 5.9.2, so all this stuff is coming to us in July and this summer. For all Warzone and Starfighter queues, they will all now be cross-faction. Yay! World of Warcraft's been doing that for a long time, I believe. Yes, okay. No, that's cross-server. My bad. Not cross-faction. Failure. So there's going to be cross-faction. That's pretty cool. Hopefully the queues will get a lot better. That would be nice. The unranked Warzone queue will now always prioritize Warzones over arenas. An arena match will only pop if there are not enough players to populate a full Warzone match at that time. So that's kind of cool. I'll be honest, I much prefer a Warzone over an arena any day. I don't even want to talk about last night. That was horrible. So we're going to have some role balancing coming up here as well. Matchmaking will never place more than 2 tanks or healers on the same team in a war zone, or 1 tank or healer for an arena. Matchmaking will always do its best to balance the amount of tanks and healers on each team. If there are 2 healers, each team will receive 1 if possible. The same is true for tanks. Well, that's pretty cool. In situations where there are an odd number of tanks and or healers, matchmaking will do its best to place a combined number of tanks and healers evenly. For example, there are 3 healers and 1 tank. Matchmaking will attempt to make the teams 2 healers versus 1 tank, 1 healer. So that's pretty cool. We'll see what happens. So hopefully there won't be a ton of bugs. Hopefully they get this on the PTS so that we can go in, for all those of us who get onto it, and test it out for them so that, you know, the internet doesn't melt down and break. For skill balancing, they're saying matchmaking will more strongly take player skill into account when making teams. Pre-made groups queuing for ranked and unranked war zones and GSF will now have their matchmaking skill based on the highest rated member, not the team's average rating. So if you go into it and you're a noob, pray to God that the guy in front of you isn't like freaking stacked out the best in the whole wide world. You're gonna die. I mean, that is actually pretty much a good idea, right? I mean, there can be some pitfalls to it, but in general, I think this is a good idea. Galactic Starfighter matchmaking has been improved to better account for player experience, along with their currently selected ship loadout. On my ship, I have slinkies and t-shirts and some weird object that buzzes and vibrates in the background. We're not sure what it is, but my co-pilot kind of goes silent for a couple minutes. I don't know. All these changes have the goal of making Warzone and Starfire matches pop more regularly and be more balanced overall. So I think that's a good idea. I think this is they're hitting the right direction, especially with Galactic Starfighter. I would love for that to pop a lot more frequently than it doesn't. Because that, even on a high pop server, for which I am, went on a Satil Shan, or I'm sorry, the Hot Prospect, whatever. That's a very high pop server, and Galactic Starfire still takes freaking forever to pop. However, your regular PvP, I can just sit down and boop, it's ready to go. I'm like, oh crap, I wasn't ready. So let's go to part 2 of this whole funness with Mr. Tumness. So for Huttball and Queshball, which I believe I played Queshball last night, and well, I hated that. That was fun. I think it was my first time, actually, all these years PvPing, and I somehow got into that one. Shoot me now. Anyways, they said, we have some concerns about the dominance of classes with movement abilities in Huttball. The proposed changes will help encourage more team play in the Warzone. We also want to create more situations for counterplay and competition in Huttball while ensuring all players are rewarded for their efforts. Yay! Except for the guy who doesn't move and just stands there. He shouldn't never get rewarded. Or the guy who just stands in fire. That's more like for operations or raids. So I have issues. Carrying the Huttball now applies hinder to the character. Hinder will prevent the use of high mobility actions such as force charge for speed and scamper and more. So that's kind of cool. Instead of, being able to, like, I got the ball, fling, it's like, I have the ball, and I cannot move as fast as I would like to with my special abilities. I'm now a normal person. What? Due to the hinder changes above, players holding the Huttball will now move at 80% movement speed, up from 67%. So they're getting a little tick, but you're not going to get that bionic woman type thing where you're there, and then you're done. Players can no longer catch the Huttball while stunned. This creates more opportunities for counterplay, such as intercepting passes intended for a target you stun. Adding attacker points for catching a pass from a friendly target. So currently the thrower of the Huttball receives around 500 points, but not the receiver. Hello? Not you. We will increase the receiver to gain 250 points. So that's kind of cool that, the thrower of the Huttball will, typically receives the 500 points. Well, the person who gets it then will also receive points. So that's cool. Fair in my book. They say we would also like a touchdown pass. I wish we can do animations for that. That'd be awesome. To award both players equally. Currently, the thrower gets 500 more points. Here's what the new breakdown looks like. So here's what it boils down to. So the thrower typically, the total of points for it is 2750, so 2,750 attacker points in total. So 500 attacker points from completing pass successfully, and 2,250 points attacker points for throwing a scoring pass. So the receiver will also get the same. So you have, the 2,750 attacker points. They will get 250 attacker points from receiving a friendly pass and 2,500 attacker points for possessing the ball for a score. They say that we know all these changes will be pretty substantial in affecting how you play Huttball. Before we make these adjustments, we want to know your thoughts. We are getting your feedback early to see what changes we should or should not make. I'm not a big Huttball person, but I know a few Huttballies, and I like where these changes are going. I think it's fair. I think it spurs competition. I really believe so, and I think sometimes we can get lazy in our PvP matches, especially in Huttball. And sometimes it just seems like the other side, you're just like, what's happening? This is just not fair. Now, I'm not a person who's like, everyone deserves a trophy, man. Everyone deserves a trophy. No, I'm not like that. You get a trophy, and if you didn't, well, you learn how to get one. That's how it should be done. That's real. That's reality. So I'm okay with this. But I am glad that the receiver will be getting some points along the way because, he kind of helped by receiving and getting the damn ball. Just saying. In arenas, there are quite a few places where players can exploit to prevent themselves from dying. Well, as we've learned in part 1, SWTOR's killing everyone now. We plan to address them and implement ways to penalize those players. Additionally, we want to take another look at how the acid mechanics work at the end of arena matches to see if we can improve that experience for stalemates. And here are some of their thoughts. Characters who hack their way into places they shouldn't be, such as an outside of the arena or in the ground, will die. They say currently acid causes characters to take 10% of their max health and damage every second, prevents stealth, and all healing. Acid will now work as follow, coming with these changes in 5.9.2. Characters will take 1% of their max health and damage every second and reduce the healing done received by 2% per stack. Characters affected by acid will begin with 1 stack and gain 1 stack per second. Acid will still inhibit stealth. So in other words, all this thing going on, this will mean that the very end of the arena match will now get progressively more dangerous. So I like that. That's more of a challenge. I'm all for challenges. This beard is a challenge because I gotta hold back my glory and power. This gives more time for players to fight each other and counterplay before the inevitable acid death. Oh, right, well, I'm gonna kill you first before I die of acid. Right, well, we're all going to die. Yeah, but I'm gonna kill you first with my lightsaber pokey stick. Poke, poke. Die, everyone! This should also address cases where stealth characters in particular can just CC and run away to win a match. So these are some of the changes. You have the matchmaking stuff going on there where they're going to help with queues being a little shorter. And in here with Huttball and Quesh and in arenas, they're trying to level out the playing field a little bit, make things a little more fair, whether you're granting points to a team member who didn't typically get points in the PvP match, especially in Huttball if he receives the ball, and now they will be getting points. So they're spreading out points to be more even, so everyone gets a chance to make points on your team, which I think is a fair thing to do. And it's also making it a little harder for teams who are just so well freaking trained, like all those nice awesome pre-mades, who just hit their fasty speed button and they're out like a flash and they win, and now there's a little bit of a handicap, even though their typical speed is up a little bit, 80% from 67%. Still, the handicap's there, and I think it'll even out things along the way. Now, remember, they said in part 1 that they kind of want to bring all these PvP matches down to a typical 12 minutes, which I think is fine, because I've been in some where you're just like, oh my gosh, how long have I been here? It feels like forever. You've been here for 15 minutes. It feels like 5 hours, like whatever. Anyways, my friends, put your comments in the comment section down there below. Let me know what you think about these changes. Are they good? Are they bad? Are you excited? Or are you like, dude, just leave it all alone? Or you're like, man, this is the best thing ever since sliced brown bread. Meh. Whatever. I like it. I think I think this is all good stuff for the game. And if you like this video, make sure you hit that like button. It helps the channel out a lot. And if you don't, my beard is still cooler than you. So, suck it up, furball. And as always, hit that subscribe button and make sure to share the video to all your friends. Bring more people into this cult. I'm sorry, I mean family. Yeah, that's what it is. And remember, my friends, always to be kind, and it's about community. Don't be a toxic douchebag. We'll see you later. Good day.